The Galactic Academy's xenobiology lab was in chaos. Professor Velketh had just announced the practical examination, live specimen handling of a razorfang crawler, a creature whose very touch could slice through most species' skin like tissue paper. Jake Harrison sat at his assigned station, the only human in a class of 47 students from across the galaxy. His classmates had barely hidden their smirks when he'd enrolled. Humans were new to the galactic community, soft-bodied mammals from a mid-gravity world. No natural armor like the Chromoth, no redundant organs like the Yelani, no toxic blood like the Vessels. Just pink flesh and fragile bones. Remember, Professor Velketh's mandibles clicked. One mistake with a razorfang can mean severe injury. Medical teams are standing by. Zix, a crystalline shard being at the next station, made a sound like breaking glass, their species' version of laughter. Perhaps the human should observe. Your kind lacks even basic protective carapace. Jake didn't respond, focusing instead on the containment unit before him. Inside, the razorfang crawler writhed, 8 inches of segmented nightmare with edges that gleamed like obsidian scalpels. The examination began. Students used various methods to extract tissue samples. The Chromoth student simply let the creature attack his armored hand. The Yelani used their natural paralytic secretions. Jake pulled on simple latex gloves. More glass laughter from Zix. Those thin membranes? The razorfang will. The creature moved faster than expected. It latched onto Jake's forearm, its razor-sharp segments slicing through his lab coat and into flesh. Blood welled immediately, bright red, shocking against his pale skin. The room erupted. 3 students fainted at the sight of exposed human blood. Others scrambled for the emergency button. Professor Velketh rushed over, medical kit in 3 of his forearms. "Stay calm," the professor shouted. "Don't move, human." The medical team. Jake looked down at his arm with mild annoyance. "It's fine. Just needs stitches. Just needs. You're bleeding. Your internal fluids are exposed to atmosphere." "Yeah, happens sometimes." Jake calmly reached for his backpack with his uninjured arm, pulling out what looked like a small black case. His classmates watched in horror as he opened it one-handed, revealing needles, thread, and various medical supplies. "What are you doing?" Velketh's eyes went wide. "Field surgery kit. Always carry one." Jake doused the wound with antiseptic, not even wincing at what other species knew was a burning sensation. He threaded a curved needle with practiced ease. "Could someone hold the crawler? I need both hands for this part." Nobody moved. They watched, transfixed, as Jake pierced his own skin with the needle, pulling the edges of the wound together with precise, measured movements. His face remained completely neutral, as if he were sewing fabric instead of his own flesh. Does it not hurt?" whispered Thyma, an empathic Orlan whose feathers had gone pale. "Sure it hurts," Jake replied, tying off another suture. "Pain's just information. Tells you something's wrong. Once you know what's wrong, you fix it and move on." He worked methodically, closing the 6-inch gash with neat stitches. Blood still seeped slightly, but Jake simply wrapped it with gauze from his kit. The entire process had taken less than 5 minutes. "There. Now, about that tissue sample." Jake turned back to the razorfang, which Zix was now holding at maximum arm length. "You're going to continue?" Professor Velketh's voice pitched higher. "Why wouldn't I? It's just a scratch." "A scratch?" Zix's crystalline form vibrated with stress. "You just performed surgery on yourself. Without anesthetic. Without a sterile field. Without the drama," Jake finished. "Look, where I come from. This is Tuesday. Ever heard of Earth's wildlife? We've got tiny insects that kill with a single sting, microorganisms that eat flesh, plants that cause pain so severe people beg for death. Hell, we keep domesticated wolves in our homes for companionship." He carefully extracted a tissue sample from the razorfang, depositing it in the specimen container. "My grandfather was a farmer. Lost 3 fingers to a combine harvester. Finished the harvest, drove himself to the hospital. My mom's a park ranger. Got mauled by a bear once. Played dead until it left. then hiked 8 miles to get help. This, he gestured at his bandaged arm. This is nothing. The classroom was silent. Even the razor fong seemed subdued. Professor Velkatha's data pad trembled in his grip. Perhaps we should reconsider the human threat assessment. We're not threats, Jake said, labeling his specimen with his injured hand. We're just hard to kill. There's a difference. Later, as the class filed out, Jake overheard Zix talking to another student. The human stitched himself. No fear, no hesitation, just stitched himself. New rule, the other student replied. Never, ever pick a fight with the human. Jake smiled to himself, adjusting his backpack. Wait until they heard about the time he'd reset his own dislocated shoulder during a rock climbing accident. Or better yet, about human women giving birth. Some things were better revealed gradually.